And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, the best podcast that's out there on YouTube. With all apologies to preach, it is the best podcast on YouTube. Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts, inside sports, fantasy football. Also, as well, of course, go ahead and check out the Lakerholics crew of Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom. Go ahead and check them out today at Lakerholics.com. Our good friend Joe Soros, Simblades with a Y.com. He is Ox1947 at Lakersball.com. And of course, he will be on tonight, plus his show, Lakers Nightcap at 11 p.m. Pacific. So go ahead and catch that. I already scheduled that for you. The best Lakers Nightcap that's out there right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, our good friends, Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV. Of course, also as well, John Costa with Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. John McCallion channel, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo! Go ahead and check those channels out. And speaking of checking out great channels, please like and subscribe today. Follow us. Whatever you can do to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, it is sincerely appreciated. It's pregame, everyone. The Lakers and Pistons coming up here in a few. Wanted to go ahead and mention that the same starting lineup we've seen as of late is the same starting lineup we'll see tonight. Lakers starters are going to be D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. 4-0 as the starting unit. Will it be 5-0 with a victory over the hapless Detroit Pistons? We'll find out. But here today to go ahead and discuss that, good man indeed. Before we go, game time on playback.tv / Lakers Fast Break, on our simulcast on playback, also as well, YouTube and Facebook. It is the man behind Mr. 5 Things, Admiral Akbar himself, Jamie Sweet, roaming through the Sweet household. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, just getting my kids set up to watch one of her favorite programs. I don't know if you've ever heard of Zig and Sharko.
I have.
You have. I mean, you should. You're a man who's got his finger on the pulse of all things on planet Earth.
I try, my friend. But I want to.
You succeed. You succeed, and you succeed gallantly, I might add.
I try to, my friend. But I want to ask you this. The first game with Spencer Dinwiddie in the lineup as far as in the rotation is concerned.
Yeah.
We'll get a good look at him tonight. Probably get some minutes, probably, I'm assuming around 20 to 25. Maybe a little more, depending on whether or not the Lakers can blow this thing open over the hapless Detroit Pistons. But with the Utah game coming up tomorrow against the feisty Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City to close out the period before the All-Star break, your thoughts, my friend, on how to not fall into the Admiral Akbar trap known as the Detroit Pistons, my friend?
I mean, it's going to take a better fourth quarter than we had against Charlotte, where we basically no-showed the fourth and managed to hang on because the game ended. I hate those games where, you're just like, these 2 minutes are going to take an eternity of bad basketball, and they're going to make every three, and we're going to miss a free throw here and a layup there and rush a shot that's just going to miss wildly, and, oh, it's over, we won. Whew. I hate those games. So I hope that tonight's not one of those games. I hope it's a game where, we can be up comfortably, 20-ish come the third quarter, into the third quarter, and we don't see LeBron and AD, and Spencer Dinwiddie gets some time, or not, doesn't, I do, unfortunately, believe this heralds, and some people will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you, Zangerstein, if you're out there tonight. I do believe this heralds the return of the dreaded and infamous 3-guard lineup.
Already discussed that, my friend. Last night's show. The fears are out there.
Oh, you don't. Fear isn't even the right word. It's happening. He's talked about it. He's already.
Yeah, Austin Reeves talked about it in the post yesterday after practice.
It's that song. Hold on, I'm coming, because it's coming. So that's not a question of when, or rather, it's a question of when, not if. Sorry. So that's coming, and I don't think that that's going to do us any favors. I think our best lineups are ones that actually have a more traditional small forward in there, whether it's Vando, Cam, or Rui. And I think most of the time the numbers bear that out. But if I know my head coach, and I think I do, he's going to say numbers be damned. and let's put some three little guys out there with AD and LeBron, and none of them are good defenders. Not a one. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if we can ball movement our way out of this game. And it's just my only hope is that it quickly comes to light, and that they are able to push past this addiction. Is the only word for it. The addiction our coach has to bad lineups that don't yield results, yet they get trotted out again and again and again. So we'll see. I think that, from an out, zoom out perspective, I think the Dinwiddie signing's about the best thing that we could have gotten on the buyout market. You could hem and haw and say like maybe Kyle Lowry fits a little bit better, but I never thought he wasn't going to Philly. He went to school there. I think he's from Philly.
Yes.
He's, I think, good friends with Embiid. And there's just more of a role for him there than there would have been here. And even if Gabe Vincent does come back this year, I see that there's still a role here for Dinwiddie, backing up Reeves better than I think Christie can, especially in the playoffs. So from that perspective, it's a great pickup. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, here she comes. That 3-guard lineup coming when she comes. That 3-guard
lineup when she comes. Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be in crunch time. They might not defend at all, but it's 3-guard lineup crunch time.
Oh my gosh! Gotta get the banjo out for that. So.
Huh?
Gotta get the banjo when gotta get the tunes going when you.
I cut my finger. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I cut my finger perfectly where I would press on the strings. And then I tried to do it, and I just started bleeding everywhere. And it's not so fun to play with a Band-Aid on the finger, so I'm on hiatus.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, it'll be like a day or two. I think probably maybe 3 at the most. It's already looking better than it did yesterday, but I don't want to.
There wasn't much out there on the buyout market.
No.
I mean, if you wanted to try out Killian Hayes to see, defensively, because he is a better defensive point guard, just can't shoot, which is the reason why he's out of the NBA currently. Dinwiddie is also not a good shooter, but he's a pretty good playmaker. He might still have that left. He is over 30, so we have to deal with that. But again, he is playing for a new contract. Anybody who's coming out on the buyout market is playing for a new contract, and that type of incentive alone should have him. Well, I don't want to say incentive with him because that $1 incentive has really been a joke for the past couple of days, but he should have the motivation to go ahead and play well for the Lakers. How close do you think he can get to the Dallas Mavericks Spencer Dinwiddie of just a couple seasons ago?
I mean, I think that's a tall order. I think he's had too many leg injuries. Even though he hasn't had like a major leg injury, like a knee scope or an Achilles tear or anything like that, I don't think. Not that I remember anyway, hearing about. I mean, 30-year-old point guards, 30-year-old guards don't age well. We're watching it unfold in real time with Klay Thompson. There's a few that defy the odds, right? Kobe played well into his 30s, and it was a major injury that derailed the last, 20% of his career or so, maybe a little bit less than that. But, the last chunk of his NBA life was defined more by his injuries than by what he was able to accomplish on the court, unfortunately. And so, I mean, you know me, I'm already like Mr. Glasses, what is exactly in the glass? It's neither full nor empty. It's what's in there. I'll look and then I'll tell you. So my bar is set pretty low. He's coming in with one whole practice under his belt. Something, and I was talking about this with Joe. Somebody's got to do an investigative report, like a CIS, as to what is it that's happening in Brooklyn that nobody wants to play there. You're in it's astounding to me. You can play in an incredible venue. I've been to Barclays. It's a beautiful arena.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Brooklyn. You're going to be living in like one of the best cities on planet Earth, and people flee with as if they were on fire from a burning building, from the Brooklyn Nets, superstars, role players, you name it. they flee. So I don't know if it's built on an Indian burial ground or if it's the Russian oligarch money that helped fund all that from Vivek, but like it's mystifying to me. It's mystifying to me how a team that has such, you know, social gravity in terms of like you're in one of the best cities you could ever play basketball in. You're in New York. Like it doesn't get any too much better than that. Chicago and LA. That's how it gets a little bit better. So other than that, you know, you're playing in the largest market. If you're somebody who's worried about your brand, winning a chip in Brooklyn, what used to be Jersey, is gonna rank way better than winning one for the Clippers or the Timberwolves or any team that hasn't won one yet. Like that's the next one that has to come through is Brooklyn, because then it's like a true New York rivalry. You know, it'd be like if the Clippers won, except nobody really still would care in Los Angeles. They'd be like, oh, it'd be like a Monty Python, you know. Yay. The five Clipper fans.
I just heard about Eric Idle and his financial issues, saying that the Monty Python absolutely made him nothing, and Spam-A-Lot made him money 20 years ago. So now he has to head back to work at the age of 80 because of it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. And he should look into voice acting because I think you can do that from home.
Yes. Yes.
And I love Eric Idle and I wish him all the best. But I actually in my so I wrote kind of about, you know, this last little chunk of season. We got 30 some odd games left, 32, I think. Maybe a little bit less now. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what game we're on, but I was hypothesizing that this season has to be the wake-up call for the Laker front office. You have to be able to see what the fans are seeing, and that is that by himself, LeBron is wholly incapable of taking this team to the NBA playoffs. He might will them to a play-in spot by himself, maybe. The scarier fact is that with AD and LeBron basically available for the majority of the games, playing minutes we don't want in the range that we're all uncomfortable watching them play, which is to say too many minutes, they're still a 500 team battling for a play-in spot, like battling. And that's not just a testament to, you know, the cast around them. That's also how much talent is in the Western Conference versus how much talent is in the Eastern Conference. And more keeps coming west. So it's not ever going to get easier. And like teams that like you didn't really think you had to worry about for a year or two are already starting to merge and be like on the cusp of contention, if not in contention, like the Rockets. And everybody kind of was laughing about New Orleans and Minnesota this season. But I think that those are both two franchises that have learned a lot from their pain, right? Like hard times are only useful if you learn something from it. And whether you love Zion Williamson or not, he's figured out a way to stay on the court this season. Whether you love, you know, Rudy Gobert and what the Timberwolves are doing or not, they are playing as more of a unit than I think anyone thought possible. And that's a testament to their coaches and the organization and the players themselves for, you know, getting behind an idea and just going for it, you know, just like buying into it. And I just don't see that at all from this Laker team. I don't see that. I mean, it looks like when we're winning and guys are making shots, everybody's happy. And that's wonderful. But what I'm not seeing is the learning from the mistakes. What I'm not seeing is that all of the bumps and bruises along last season and this season, it feels very much like the exact same season where we're hoping somebody's going to lose or we're hoping, you know, somebody's not going to have a good game rather than having a plan. And as a lifelong Angel fan, I know what it's like to root for a team that doesn't have a plan sometimes, like the Angels right now.
This I do know as well. So I ask you, my friend, when it comes right down to it, I asked Joe last night in regards to this. You have the Golden State Warriors winning 5 in a row. You have right above us, Dallas winning 5 in a row to distance themselves from the Lakers.
Right.
The Lakers have to close out this period before the All-Star break strong, as if they don't, they could find themselves easily in 10th place or out by the time the All-Star break hits.
Yeah, and you know who doesn't want to talk about that during the All-Star break? That would be LeBron James. LeBron James does not want to field a bunch of questions about the Lakers' record or why they're not playing well or yada, yada, yada. Like, you've been playing so much and yet you're losing. Your team didn't make a trade. Well, are you angry? What towel are you wearing right now? It's a lot to be LeBron James, I'm sure, and it comes with making a lot of money playing basketball and being a global icon, of course. But like, he don't want to talk about any of that. I wouldn't want to talk about any of that. I don't think anybody would want to talk about any of that. You would rather talk about, oh, this is my 4 billionth All-Star game, and I hope we win. Going to go out there and have some fun. And see you later. Nice interview. Thanks a lot, everybody. So I've got my doubts as to whether we are going to close out strong. I mean, I think we have a good chance of winning tonight. I think Utah is going to be real tough. They're motivated to beat us. They're right behind us in the standings, I think, like 2 games back. If that, 2.5, something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a team that seems to be learning from their early season issues, whether it was getting some guys healthy or getting some guys on the same page, or just, rediscovering that vim and vigor that got them off to such a hot start last season and then kind of petered off towards the end. Seems like this season they got off to a slower start, and now they're finding that jazzy vibe they got. That had them as a surprise playing team for quite a while last season, up until the last few weeks of the season, I think, last month or so, really. So, the issue being here at this point is that it unfortunately kind of no longer seems to matter what LeBron and AD do on a nightly basis. They're going to put up 20-ish points. They're both going to grab 10, 15 rebounds. LeBron's going to get 7 or 8 assists. AD might get 4 or 5 or more. Who else is stepping up? It's no longer, and maybe it never was this season at least. It's no longer about what can AD and LeBron do. How much time are they going to play together? How many games are the Lakers going to squeeze out of these two guys? It's who else is going to show up tonight. And that's one of the problems with Vando and Cam being out. Like, I felt like even if like the shot wasn't going in, at the very least they showed up every single night, put on their hat, went to work, got it done. Maybe we didn't win, but they did their part. And so if Dinwiddie can come in and bring that level of energy, and if not, even if it's not execution or like big, stat numbers, if he can just like keep the team moving in a positive direction, which is winning, then I think it'll be a slam dunk buyout. But I worry that he's going to come in, knock somebody who's already a precarious role player with their minutes and their role fluctuating all season long out of the rotation entirely, or into like garbage time status like Max Christie or Rui, both of them who've been playing better of late. And it's going to be like Andre Drummond 2.0. We're like, did we promise this guy a closing spot, or what's the background? What's the background politics around this signing that has the potential to kind of torpedo what season we have? So, and then the other thing that has me concerned is, Rob talking about we're looking at trading all 3 picks this summer. Like, oh, great. So then the Lakers will be bad once LeBron retires. The Lakers will be bad for 10 years. Because, boy, that's a lot to give up. Unless it's like Mitchell. Unless we're getting Donovan Mitchell. Literally the only player I would give up 3 first-round draft picks for is Donovan Mitchell. And even he, I have...
Or unless somebody else becomes available that we don't know of in the offseason. You never know.
I don't know that you could get somebody on a multi-year contract for that price, based on what the Jazz paid, or rather what the Timberwolves paid the Jazz for Rudy Gobert, which broke trading for a couple of years. I feel like it's just going to feel like you're not getting a good deal to the fan base, to the ownership. And so, if a guy like Mitchell comes on the market, OKC can outbid us. New York, I think, can still outbid us, even after getting Anunoby. Other teams have more assets, and it's a trade. So it's not like, hey, come to LA. It's like, oh, that team actually has more than we have, and we can't match it at all. because it doesn't matter that we're in LA. We only have 3 first-round draft picks, and they're all about 8 years out. So enjoy that. 7 years out. So that's my concern right now, is that I don't see a plan for the future. I see a lot of machinations to keep something that doesn't work now going, right? This doesn't really work right now. This is not a Laker team that anybody's going to like go back in time and remember. Remember that 2023, 2024 team that barely won 500 games, sneaked into the play-in and made it. They were plucky and made it to the second round of the playoffs. That's like Lake Show era. You don't get you're just not going to be a team that's remembered, and that's going to be a shame, because this is the best, most available LeBron and AD have been since AD's first season here. And so it would be a shame for the season to kind of end up being kind of like a watershed moment of this doesn't really work anymore.
But we'll see what happens, my friend. It is the Lakers and the Pistons coming up here in just a few seconds. We've got it for you on the simulcast on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, YouTube and Facebook. We'll bring it to you right here. My friend, just want to make sure everybody knows, congratulations to Shaquille O'Neal on his jersey being retired in Orlando. Well-deserved, I might add, for the Shaqmeister. But to my friend, any last thoughts? We should dominate this game. The team we're playing has 6 wins. Absolutely no excuses today. Any last thoughts? But we've said this before we head on out.
You're talking to the wrong guy for optimism. I don't come here to bring sunshine and rainbows, Gerald. I'm just going to say this, that if we can keep our turnovers down. Sorry, my daughter's picking out some Girl Scout cookies here.
Oh, Girl Scout cookies here.
Yes, cookies here. Get your Girl Scout cookies.
Flashback to when I had to sell them for like 7 years. My
She's done a good job by herself. I mean, just through like
with my daughters.
Over 200 right now. 200 boxes, baby. And counting.
Absolutely. Sell those tag-alongs.
Oh, they're the best.
So, no excuses tonight. Any word on Laker Tom? Laker Tom's been a persona non grata. You might want to throw the challenge out there. He needs to.
He just came back on the blog today for the first time in a couple of weeks. So it's not just here; it's even on his own blog that he runs.
The world's longest move. People thought he was moving to Kuwait. He was moving so long.
He's moving each item by hand.
Yes.
Not in a car, just walking it from point A to point B. No, he's doing well. I think that after this week, maybe even by this weekend, I think he'll be back to regular Laker Tom, just in a much smaller house with theoretically less stuff, but I'm really not too sure based on how he's been posting about the issues he's had getting rid of things. His message to the blog today was, start earlier than I did. I thought he was going to say saving for retirement. He said, no. He's like, start earlier than I did, getting rid of all your old crap.
Okay. Sounds like Laker Tom indeed.
Right? It was like the most Laker Tom thing he could have said. I was dying.
Well, I can't wait to get you two back together. We should have plenty of time to discuss during the All-Star break.
He actually said he wasn't bummed that he missed that the trade deadline was quiet. He was like, I wanted us to keep D'Lo if it wasn't for Murray. And my response to that was, well, that's good, because it was never going to be for Murray.
Yes. Well, I'm glad, because he would have probably gotten a coronary at the lack of action this time around from Rob Pelinka. He almost did 2 years ago.
Oh, that was,
sure.
I know. Yeah. I felt bad like watching but it was just so funny. It was just so funny to watch him get less and like just more and more like, oh man, it's not going to happen, is it?
I will say, though, Isabel, thank you so much. Salute Gerald and Fidel. What's up? It is Fidel, J.A.K. Jamie Sweet, Admiral Akbar. Hopefully the Lakers will win. Game is about ready to start. Hopefully you will enjoy it with us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And, of course, our simulcast. Jamie, always great to have you here. Any last quick notes before we head on out?
Nobody get hurt. Let's 2 games. Let's go on a little 2-game win streak to cap it off.
2 games. Absolutely, indeed. Please join us after the game, of course, for post-game, and, of course, Lakers Nightcap with Joe Soro. And then right now, I'm heading over to playback for the simulcast right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast. So for Jamie Sweet, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. We'll see you on playback on the simulcast coming up right now right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Cool.
5 things, his 5 things articles on Lakerholics.com. We'll see you soon.